Hey guys, I'm sorry it's been so long since I made a video. And truthfully, I was considering not even making this video. I've been thinking about it for weeks and I decided it was the right thing to do, to make a video on and update you guys on everything that I've been going through these past few weeks. When it comes to my channel and what I choose to post, I usually like to keep it positive and upbeat because I want to inspire people and I want to help people to feel better while they're going through challenges in their lives. But I realized, and I should have realized this sooner, sharing what I've been going through, good and bad, maybe I did already know this, but I just realized that that's part of life, and you know, it's not going to always be perfect. And when you're going through a tough time and you have a channel and you choose to share these things with people, that's what's important. Whether I'm going through a good time or a bad time, is to be honest with you all and let you know what's been going on. If you haven't seen my video talking about living my life as someone with All-in-4, like a day and living my life and talking about that and everything, in that video I mentioned that, and that was about the beginning of February this year, I mentioned that I was diagnosed with severe anemia, and the lowest number you can have is like 6, and then it's dangerous, and my number was at 7. And so that was a little bit of a health scare because my doctor almost sent me to urgent care that day to give me blood transfusions, as I had in the past when I had anemia before. And that was scary. So what she did was put me on iron and vitamin C, and I've been taking that for the past 2.5 months now. And I actually have an appointment with her April 1st, I believe, to talk about where my blood levels are now, because I did a blood draw and they tested it, so I will find out that soon. But that was the beginning of all this health stuff that I've been dealing with since February. After I was diagnosed with severe anemia, I was starting to feel sad and down on myself, but then I almost immediately changed that mindset, and I decided, okay, this is my opportunity to be even healthier than I was before. I knew there was room for improvement, and I think there always is, but I kind of switched it and decided to use that as a goal and motivation to get healthier. So in that vlog, I also talked about that, and I mentioned I'm gonna make this my healthy time. I'm gonna make it so I become a better version of myself. I'm gonna go on walks, and we had already started actually. I'm gonna eat better, I'm gonna have more iron, I'm gonna drink more water. And so I was starting to feel like there was hope. Especially about a month into taking my iron pills and that vitamin C, I actually started to feel a little better. I wasn't breathing as heavy, my heart wasn't beating as fast, and I was no longer craving ice, because for the longest time, like, all I wanted was ice, 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 and that's not all I ate. But when you're anemic, you crave ice and other things like that. But I noticed that I had not craved that anymore, so I was really hopeful, and I knew that I was starting to heal in that department. But just as I was starting to feel better anemia-wise, I noticed that about a couple days after noticing I was doing better, I noticed that I was starting to feel like I had UTI symptoms, and it hurt to use the bathroom, and other symptoms as well that I won't go fully into. I'm sure many of you can relate to this, many of you girls out there, and guys, you know, we all get that. It was painful for a while. I went to work like that, and that was really, really hard. And so I ended up, I say I'm a lot, I ended up getting some urine tests done, and just like a bunch of other tests that I could get done. And every single time they came back negative or contaminated at first. I should start there. They were contaminated all the time, like skin cells was in it. And so weeks and weeks of no answers and still feeling these symptoms and not getting any answers that I needed. I even had to go to urgent care one of those nights that I was dealing with it, and because it was so painful and hard to function like that. And they did a urine sample. That one came back contaminated. And so finally, my women's clinic that I originally started going to, they had me come in for another urine sample and a swab sample. And they actually sent it to, I don't know the correct medical terms, but they sent it to someone who could check everything, whether it was contaminated or not. And so a couple days after doing that test, it came back negative. Nothing was wrong according to the urine sample. Like, there was no UTI, there was no infection that showed up or anything like that. And so you can imagine how frustrated I was having to deal with that and not having answers still, but knowing that I was still having symptoms. My doctor ended up putting in a request for a urologist to, you know, do the x-rays, do what they do to see what else is possibly wrong with me. What could it be? Because it could be something more serious, which really terrifies me. And I have a pelvic exam that I'm going to be having this month of April. And yeah, so hopefully I will get more answers with that. But I will say that the past week or so, maybe 2 weeks or so, I started to feel better. My amazing husband, who researched into things like he always does for me, he found out that probiotics can be really helpful when you're dealing with things like that. Excuse me. And he looked into it and he talked to pharmacists about it, and they recommended that I take a good probiotic. And so I started doing that. I started drinking kombucha, which has probiotics in it as well. And I started eating yogurts daily that had a lot of probiotics in it. And a few days after that, I started to feel better. And currently, to this day, I do feel better in that department. And but all these tests that I'm going to be doing, like exams, in the future, I will be finding out what is wrong with me, because I'm not 100% better in that area, and that still worries me. So I have that going on in my mind all the time, and the worry and the wondering, like, what is this mysterious thing that came into my body? I don't understand that, and that's very frustrating. I know I'm not the only one who goes through things like that when you're trying to figure out what is wrong with you, but tests come back like they're okay, and then you're waiting like weeks or months to be seen by professionals. You know, to urologists takes like months out, so that really is not good. So I'm waiting for that, and still dealing with symptoms, but it's just not as bad anymore, thank God. So as I was feeling better in that area, and with anemia as well, I went to work, and I was so happy I was feeling better, like I was starting to finally feel better. And that was like a week of working, and it made work a lot easier. One morning I went into work. Sorry, I was worried about making this video because I didn't want to cry also. I don't really like to cry when I'm filming. To be honest with you guys, this isn't a very happy video. I'm feeling very discouraged. I know things are getting better, but when I went to work last week on Monday, my job is very physically demanding. I was bending over, picking something up, and then I threw my back out. This would be the second time this has happened to me at work, and I got injured and had to take time off. I'm actually currently on workman's comp, and I can't go back to work, which is very frustrating for me because I'm a loyal and hard worker. I don't like to let people down, and I don't like the uncertainty of not knowing what's to come, not knowing what's going to happen. And, you know, financially too, of course, we all worry about that. But yeah, as I was starting to feel better with everything else, I threw my back out. I am currently in a little bit of pain with that, off and on. I've been heating it and cooling it, taking muscle relaxers for it, but it's not completely gone. And I don't know what's going on since February of this year. I was grieving the 10 years without my dad, of him passing. Sorry, it's hard to talk. This is real life. I'm being honest with you, and I'm showing my raw emotions. I'm not doing too great right now, but it doesn't mean there isn't hope. But yeah, since February, dealing with the loss of my father 10 years ago, I can't believe it's been 10 years. Since that month, health issues have been coming up for me, like back to back. I start to feel better in one department, and then I feel worse in another. And I don't understand why. I feel like I'm being tested or something like that. I don't understand why these things keep happening. I know I sound like woe is me, and I'm not asking for pity or for you to feel bad for me or sorry for me, because I am a strong girl and I've been through worse. Frankly, I've been through a lot worse. This is starting to weigh on me heavily, emotionally, mentally, because I feel like no matter what I do to try to feel better, like something else comes up. But I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to have this defeated mindset. That's not how I want to be. That's not who I am. But sometimes life does get the best of you. Sometimes life knocks you down, and you just have to keep getting back up. But this whole video isn't going to be just a sad one. In other news, in good news, my all-in-4 teeth have been doing really, really well. And I don't know if you clicked on this video thinking I'd be talking about that. I wasn't trying to do clickbait or anything like that. I don't do that. But my teeth are fine. I'm very happy to report that I have had no issues with them, and I'm taking care of them, and nothing's wrong. So I'm really grateful for that. I'm really, you don't understand how grateful I am for these teeth still, and they are amazing, and they've helped me in changing my life. You know, 3 years ago, when I went through losing my teeth, that was a real challenge, a real big challenge. I know a lot of you out there understand that. But I came out of it with flying colors, and I know I will with these things too. And another reason for making this video was to show you guys that you are strong, and no matter what you're going through, this is a repeated message of mine, and I feel like it's appropriate timing to do it again. No matter what you're going through, you too will get through it. You are strong too. Yes, you. And I believe in all of you guys. I thank you for your support, for watching my videos. And I just thank you for being here today and seeing what I'm talking about, and excusing the fact that I can't seem to form sentences very well in this video. But that's okay. Nobody's perfect. Nobody. But thank you guys. Thank you for being here, for listening to me talk about my struggles. I really, really appreciate you. And I wish you all well. I hope you all doing well. I hope everything is good in your life. And remember, these challenges are only a temporary time in our lives. And you too will get through them. I love you guys. Take care. Bye.